Okay, Adam, welcome to the Ageas Bowl. You've been in this morning having a little look around. What are your first impressions?
I think the guys are excited and they're playing a lot of decent cricket. They've been training well. It's obviously a lot bigger than Chelmsford. I drove in this morning with a huge construction to look at, so no, I'm just excited to be here.
What was it that drew you to Hampshire? What was it that made you feel like this was the place for you?
Well, obviously their recent success. No one can forget about that. And I wish to pursue a career not just batting with wicket-keeping. Under Foster's influence, it didn't seem as if I'd get that opportunity at Essex.
So that's there's the two different elements to your game that you're really kind of wanting to explore, both the wicket-keeping and the batting here.
Yeah, I think professional sport is, there's no longevity in it, and whilst you've got the opportunity, you might as well take it. I think wicket keeping would be a huge waste if I didn't try and pursue it.
Of course, Hampshire fans will remember your batting from last season. You scored 98 against us at Chelmsford. What are your memories of that day? I mean, yeah, it was quite bizarre. We're at a stage where we didn't look as if we were gonna fall short, and then I got so close yet so far away. At that stage, I hadn't heard anything from Hampshire, so it wasn't on purpose. Yeah, I mean, it's a good demonstration, though, of what you can do with the bat. How would you describe yourself as a batsman?
Quite aggressive, quite counter-attacking, and quite fluent. I think, I looked to score quickly with that middle order we had at Essex. That was sort of one of our goals, so I just wish to carry on that at Hampshire.
And obviously, as a wicket-keeper, you kind of comfortable standing up to quicks or to spin or anything like that. You kind of
I mean, it's always challenging. Wicket-keeping is challenging. I'm biased, but I do think it's one of the hardest strings to anyone's bow at cricket. Like any professional sport, there'll be good days, there'll be bad days.
Michael Bates is already here. What do you know of him already, and kind of how do you rate him as a wicket-keeper, and how do you see it working between the two of you?
I mean, he's an exceptional wicket-keeper, there's no doubt about it. With going to another club, there's always competition, whether I was coming as a batsman or a bowler. That's just the way professional sport is.
And the other batsmen that you've got around, clearly Jimmy Adams, Michael Carberry, I noticed you speaking to Carbs this morning. It must be great to sort of speak to those guys as well and learn what they're doing. Yeah,
there were a lot of big influences at Essex, a lot of experienced players, so it's nice to come into a change room where there's just as many experienced players.
Tell us a little bit about your experiences at Essex. You played alongside Foster. What was that like, learning from him growing up?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, he's proven year in year out that he's an unbelievable cricketer, both with the bat and gloves. We didn't do a great deal together. We didn't train a huge amount together, but watching him and seeing him as a role model was hugely beneficial.
And obviously, Hampshire play Essex in all three formats next season, so there's plenty of opportunity for you to go back there and show what you can do, show what they're missing. Yeah,
there is. I'll be playing against my mates, and I'm sure someone pop their head up saying they weren't my mate, but it's just the way the fixtures have worked out, whether it was this year or in years to come. We were always going to play Essex.
You mentioned that you've played with some of our guys before on England under-19 tours.
Yeah, played with Hamza, Rasdin, James Vince, Chris Wood, Liam Dawson. I lived with James Vince and Hamza in Perth one winter for a couple of months. Yes, playing against them, it was almost like going to see some friends. Makes the transition into another change room quite easy.
Of course, and it one of the things Hampshire's famed for is having this group of young players who've come up through the academy together. So in a sense, you already have a little bit of that with them, don't you? You know the guys and you play with them and those sorts of things. Yeah,
obviously it's early days yet, so I won't be as loud as they are in the changing room at the minute. But yeah, it's good to know a few faces in the change room, new change room.
In terms of your ambitions moving forward, I know you've played a bit of overseas cricket. You played in New Zealand, I think, and in Zimbabwe as well. Yeah. Where would you like to see your career moving forward?
Ultimately, I chose to wicket keep in order to see how far I can take my career. No one knows. No one can predict the future in whatever you do. But as long as afterwards I feel like I've given cricket my best shot, then I'll be happy with that.
And the overseas experiences, are they kind of something that you kind of look to continue with?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to play cricket almost everywhere, bar Pakistan and Bangladesh, the two glamorous places. If a decent opportunity arises, I'll definitely go away and sort of broaden my horizons.
Sort of England, perhaps, one day?
To play for England? Yeah, I think everyone plays this game hoping to play for England, especially whilst you're young. But that's a big picture and a small, there's a lot more short-term goals to achieve before, someone can be looking at the eyes of England.